Hello, I'm at Lighty, and today's video we're talking about this kind of shitty strat that I did on stream today, and this is solo self-found hardcore, by the way, and it turns out it wasn't as shitty as I thought. So basically the whole strategy is that I was just doing one part of Merc Lab, and it takes about a minute and a half to do, give or take. And all you do, and this depends on the lab layout of the day, but it has to be merciless because doing this in Eternal costs an alpha range time. You don't actually complete the lab. You just say, fuck lab, I don't want to do it. And this is only for farming. It really is only for solo self, and I would say it doesn't seem super beneficial in any other game mode. But, I mean, it could be okay, because you're still getting decent loot, quote-unquote. Normally, I just skip all the trash that are, like, not in large packs. And you look for your minimap, and you see the two doors on the right of the minimap, right there? That's what I look for. And then you just fucking bomb rush to that, and it's going to be, today's thing is a floor puzzle. And it could be any puzzle, and it might not be an actual spawn in the day. I suggest checking PB Lab to see which one is best. So the floor puzzle works in this way, you know, lightning, cold, fire, cold. You do that, and that's the pattern you have to repeat. Lightning, cold, fire, cold. So you look for this, and you say, oh, lightning, cold, fire, cold, lightning, cold, fire, cold, lightning, cold, fire, cold, lightning, cold, fire, cold. The door opens, or inside there's a fucking blue pack. Sometimes it's bears, so you better watch out for that. Once they all go pop, 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 and you can tank one of them. And it's either spawn a Curious Lockbox or a Labarynth Trove. Curious Lockbox is strictly worse, but it's still okay. And it just drops a key, which doesn't matter because you're leaving lab in half a second. And then a bunch of random, it's like a better rare chest. So then you do that, and then you reset. And it costs a fucking portal scroll each attempt, essentially. And that was a slow demo run, and it was still probably about, well, a minute and a half. You can see how you can do this probably really fucking quick. The whole process could be like a minute. And you do this every single minute, you are going to be astounded by how much shit you'll get. It might not be good shit, but it's a lot of shit. And again, since I'm playing solo self-found, all this stuff, it adds up. This is really only good for solo self-found, but again, some of the boxes you hit, especially if you hit Labarynth Trove, can be quite beneficial. Now, all Labarynth Trove is, just to clarify, is it is just a random box that could have dropped at the end of normal, like doing the actual Labarynth, like from the keys. Either spawns on the left or the right. Again, it's just today's layout, but it's going to be, you kind of want to wait for a day where it's one chest closed. Again, the pattern changes fire, lightning, cold. And then you just clear the mobs here, and then you go into the pattern. Fire, lightning, cold, 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 fire. And it opens up, and again, we got another Curious Lockbox. Like I said, Trove is better, but it's still fine. And it just drops stuff. And look, there's a unique. And it's like not a good unique, but like I said, solo self-found, hey, all that shit's kind of cool. It all adds up. You know, there's some uniques that are not super expensive or uncommon as far as uniques goes. It can still be worth something. Vendor, rinse, repeat. And man, you will be surprised at how much shit you'll get. Like I said, you're getting stuff. You're doing this just so you want to get a lot of stuff. Some of the rewards will be good, some of the rewards will be bad. But, you know, either way you slice it, you're still getting shit to drop. Some of the better things you can get from Labarynth Trove consist of a chest that gives you gems with all quality. I haven't got one above 10%. I'm not sure if they can spawn above 10% quality, but even then, you're getting, you know, 20 gems of 9% quality. Still pretty okay. One of the better ones is Arcanist box. You have an R to Sins box, which is a lot of just shit currency, but that shit currency, you know, it's pretty useful. Solo self-found. You'll get pretty fast at doing this, to the point where the actual floor panels won't be able to keep up with you. And since the zone is technically like, you know, T1 map levels, level 68, I got level 70 something. What am I, 77? I get a 5% give or take a run. Sometimes if there's shrines like this, I'll just clear them just cause. So here's a divine shrine. It's not a dark shrine, so it doesn't work, but it is a divine shrine. And if for some reason you fuck up the floor panel puzzle, which, you know, sometimes happens because of lag, or you just, you know, mess up, you make a mistake. For this example, fire, lightning, cold. If you fuck up the floor panel, all that happens is like an array of darts comes out and shoots at you and does a little bit of damage. I'll knock off my shrine real quick to show you. So it's fire, lightning, cold. So if I said fire, lightning, fire, here comes the darts, and they both missed me because of evasion. But let me try to trigger one again. Still not gonna hit me? Am I just like in the perfect spot to not be hit by this? Let's see if it hits me this time. There we go. There's a little bit of poison damage. It really isn't that much though. Yeah, the more you want to kind of try hard this method, the faster you want to run these boxes. You can see you're going to get more. More boxes equals more loot. You know, the bigger the sample size, the more shit you're going to get. On your way there, sometimes you'll see exiles, you'll see strong boxes, you'll see ghosts. Get a little sidetrack, little baby mini quest, little activities. The blue packs, like I said, they add up the experience from them. The most annoying thing, honestly, from this method is the detection radius of the panels. So fire, lightning, cold. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about right here. Alright, let me just zoom in real quick. Fire. Look at this shit. Fire, lightning. This is not on the panel. Look how far... I'm so much on this. Fire, lightning, cold. Fire. This doesn't count as being on the panel. I don't know why it is like this, but sometimes it just is. If you ever get like super lost, just double check fire, lightning, cold. Okay. And just retrace your steps. Fire, lightning, cold. I normally suggest a vendor after every single run, but if you feel like you could push it and do 2 runs, you're going to be shaving a little bit time off your overall run speed, a little bit faster, a little bit more efficient. Thankfully, you always come out around Act 8, which means that you could quickly just take the waypoint right back to Aspirants and head right back to Merc Lab. Like I said, every day the Labyrinth layout changes, and some days it might not be beneficial to do this if there's not a puzzle, and not a particularly easy puzzle also in the first room. Sometimes it's a jumping puzzle, those are even better. The worst ones would be like the once you have to escort mission type ones. And still in the Curious Lockbox, which again is strictly worse than the other one, but oh, there's a Sybils. See, sometimes you get stuff. Again, Sybils. Not a very expensive unique, but solo cell phone. You know what? That's pretty fucking good. Especially when starting off on solo cell phone, because I've pretty much filled this fucking tab today from doing this. And I can tell you straight up, man, this it works. It works. You can just see the results are there. There's a Labyrinth Trove. Nice. This is an example of one of the endgame boxes. This is a box that you'd normally use a golden key on. This one gave me card box. Look at that. It's obviously not going to be tons of cards, but all it takes is a couple cards, a couple, the right drop, and it became worth it. Honestly, for me already, getting Crew, Ward, and Sybils, both of those are pretty cool uniques that might be beneficial for me. If you want, you could run Silver Flask, Quicksilver Flask. There's tons of things you can do to speed this up. You can just like weapon swap, shield charge through all this shit. That'll make it so much easier. There's just so many shit tier uniques as far as their pricing, but they're still fucking crazy build enabling in solo cell phone. That's like one of the things I love the most. Don't forget, one of the boxes you can get is just corrupted items. Because it's corrupted items, you can get 6 links. Now, obviously a corrupted 6 link might not be what you want. The colors are predetermined and they really can't be changed realistically, especially starting off in solo cell phone. But hey, if you get the right colors on the right chest, yo, that's fucking insane. It's a free 6 link. Think about how long it takes you to take a shit, right? Is that more than a minute? If it is, you should be wearing a diaper because you could literally do a box run that time. Depending on the layout, maybe even 2. I don't know if the spawn rate of Harbingers in Labyrinth is either just fucking crazy low or non-existent. One of the two. All I know is in, 8 hours of doing this in lab, where the fuck it's been, haven't seen a Harbinger yet. So I guess they just don't spawn, which is a real kind of shame. It's just one part of the whole league don't ever get to see. I mean, Exile spawn clearly, but yeah, no fucking Harbingers in Harbinger League. Even though it says in the top right, Mysterious Harbingers, Rome, Ray Class, and Ariath. Just, I guess, fucking lab isn't in Ray Class or Ariath. I don't know if your personal level, or if there's like a penalty to whether your IQ or IR affects lab. I don't think it should affect lab or the lab boxes. Trove, let's get that corrupted box. Hey, there it is. That's a really bad corrupted box. But yeah, so there's the corrupted box. It can drop a bunch of stuff, and sometimes the ID, at least look at what they have. Sometimes you can get stuff like +1 curse on an amulet, but overall the corrupted box is probably the rarest one, aside from the box that has the divination cards. One of the two. They're both really fucking rare. Still, I mean, you'll get one every like 10, 15 runs though. So, the faster you do your run, the faster you'll get those. Huh. That's not a bad little fucking Corsair sword, actually. Wish that tax fee was higher, though.
So if at any point in time you want to know what today's lab layout is, you just go to pblab.com. It's a pretty simple website. And then you just click whatever lab you're on. So Merciless, it'll say the date. Make sure the date's right. And click See Lab Notes. And all you're just going to check for this method is the first room. If the first room has a G or a P, pretty much, gauntlet or puzzle, and it'll tell you which one we have today on this side. So number one, it's an escort gauntlet, which means it's kind of slow. I normally don't suggest farming these. You still can. It's just going to take 3 times as long, but you can still get your first chest if you really wanted to. It's kind of like an escort mission in a video game. You pretty much just escort this like pylon across a room, and that's about it. Alright, here it is. It's only going to have one of two spawns. It's going to be in the left or it's going to be in the far right. And you just kind of make sure you stand in the middle of the circle. And you just dodge the traps that are incoming and it'll spawn various shitty low-level enemies around you. You have to be making sure you're like dead center of the circle, because otherwise it just won't progress for some reason. And if you were to step off of it, it doesn't stop moving, it actually reverts in its path. So if I step off, you'll see it start moving backwards. Very, very shitty feeling for Cyclone, but yeah, it doesn't take that long, honestly. It's maybe like 30 seconds or something. And then it gets you to the room, and it's the same Curious Lockbox or Labarynth Trove. You can get your standard chest loot. That about concludes this method. I've done this for a few days in the week now. Every time it's a good layout, and it's honestly pretty beneficial. It'll get you a large amount of currency and loot over the next, past few times. And even if you get the gem chest and you get the shitty chest, you're still accumulating tons of alts, tons of GCP, and you'll just get tons of uniques, whether they be good or bad or trash or whatever. They will add up. They will become useful, especially in the solo Southbound environment. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'm at Lighty, and have a good day.